Mm. Yes, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Zinzino Balance Concept presentation. This is a concept that has changed my life with Mr. Hugo, my friend that I met through another friend. We've had a lot together. We've moved to the Moshi since we met. But I want to take you to where we started. I met Hugo when I was badly off. I'd had series of heart attacks. I give my testimony later, but I want to tell you that it has changed my life, and it has changed the life of so many people that I've actually introduced to this balance oil. I'm so grateful to Hugo that we met, and it was a divine connection. This is something I will recommend to all of you later on, after you hear the whole concept, you believe me that there's nothing better than this. So Hugo is very, very well articulate in the area of health and nutrition. He's had a long experience in working with the helping aids, and now about 12 years with Zinzino. He is very passionate about the concept, and over the last 12 years, he has helped a number of people around the world get in balance. Now, since we met, we are now on a mission to help Africa to get in balance. It may sound queer to us to say what is getting in balance, but I believe after this presentation, you will get to know what we mean by getting in balance. So without much ado, I want to invite Mr. Hugo, Mr. Olsen, to do the presentation. And please get seated. Don't turn off your video. Watch until the end, and you will believe, you will accept that this is the best for you. Mr. Hugo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my dear brother David. It's a great pleasure to have a chance to present something that I'm really on fire for, to spread the knowledge about our Balance Health Concept. A thing that I think is really the major difference between good and poor health, the thing that you can do something about in a very simple way in order to prevent the risk of all these lifestyle diseases that are taking far too many lives far too early. So like David said, my name is Hugo Olsen. I was born back in February in 1963. So I guess I'm on a mission to work with a 6-3 ratio, the balance of these essential fatty acids. I was born up in Tromsø in Norway, far up north, actually north of the polar circle. And I learned early in my life that if you eat fish, you will be healthy. Today, I live outside Oslo. I'm happily married to my wife, Doreen. She's from Philippines. And I have been working for 25 years with Helping Aids for Healthcare, lifting equipment to get the old lady from the wheelchair into the bed, beds that are height adjustable, specialty mattresses, hygiene equipment for showering, bathing, burns treatment, and so on and so forth. And I've traveled the world, and I've seen a lot of elderly people with dementia, with troublesome aging because of not taking care of their health during their younger life. Everything with health is all about prevention. And I want to demonstrate here for you why it is so important to be in balance and how you can get in balance by taking care of the information you get here in this video. Because we all want to feel good. We want to stay fit. We want to be healthy. But at the same time, the health-related problems are increasing. And it's time to ask why. And I think that one of the major reasons is that the founder of modern medicine, Dr. Hippocrates, that you can see here on the illustration, 2,400 years ago, he said the following: let thy food be your medicine, and let your medicine be your food. And he said that sickness, illness comes from 3 factors: environment, lifestyle, and diet. And of course, diet is probably the thing, together with, of course, the environment, that has changed dramatically, plus the fact that we are not moving as much as we used to do historically. But the diet has changed dramatically, and that has had a very negative impact on our health. Because historically, we have always eaten food from Mother Nature, full of vitamins, minerals, phyto and micronutrients, beta-glucans, fibers, healthy fats, and we have always had a good balance between these two essential, meaning necessary for life, fatty acids called omega-6 and omega-3s. But today we are eating food made by man. And not only we as human beings, but even our cattle, our pigs, the chickens, the hens, the turkeys, whatever it is, lambs, goats, they get power food to grow fast so they can be slaughtered and sold in the market. And in order to get them to grow fast, we're giving them power food or pellets, and these pellets are basically only built up of soy and corn, which are basically only sources for omega-6 fatty acids. And with this processed man-made food, we have a situation with lower nutrition density, but very high in sugars and refined carbohydrates, many empty calories, low in fibers, less healthy fats, and with a great imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3s. And if we look at it historically, we are actually made, our DNA is programmed to have a balance of 1 part omega-6 to 1 part omega-3s. And science is actually recommending that we should be on a 3-2-1 or lower. And it was actually in the decade when I was born, back in the beginning of the 60s, where the big turning point came. The average there was 4-2-1. And what happened in the 60s, particularly in the Western world, was that now the mothers of the family started to work. So now the industry saw its opportunity to help getting the dinners faster on the table, with half-produced, semi-produced, fully processed, whatever it might be, plus the intake of fatty fish started to go downwards. So what the outcome of that is now in the European Union is that the average is now 15 times more omega-6 than omega-3s. And in the United States, the average is 25-1. And honestly, what I've seen so far, and David will share his results, is that the tests I've seen in Africa so far is actually averaging even worse than the American average of 25-1. So in conclusion, we are lacking key nutrients, and we have a big imbalance between these two essential fatty acids, omega-6 to omega-3s. Let me just add, as a rule of thumb, very easily to state, we can say that sources to omega-6 comes from things that grow and lives on land, whilst the sources of the very good omega-3 fatty acids we want is coming from the sea, the salt water, the ocean. And having a big imbalance, you can see here on this pink illustrated human being here, that it has a lot of negative impacts on our health. And the reason why it is like that is because it affects every single cell in our body. And you and me, we are built up of 100 billion cells, and these cells are there for two major purposes. They are there to produce energy, and they are there to renew themselves. And if you have too little omega-3 in your blood, in your diet, what happens then is that the body is forced to use a different fatty acid composition to build up the cell membrane. So if you look at the illustration there on the left-hand side on this slide, you can see the cell, you see the nucleus, the core of the cell, your DNA programming. You see something we call the mitochondria, the energy factory within the cell. And all of this, together with many, many other important things, are nicely wrapped into a cell membrane. And this cell membrane has an inner and an outer layer. And what's in between that inner and outer layer, that's only fatty acids. We call it a phospholipid bilayer. And you find all kinds of fats there: saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats. But there are two that we need to get through our diet, and that is omega-6 and omega-3s. And if we have too little omega-3, again, the body is forced to use a different fatty acid composition to build up the membrane, and that's what's good for our health. So what happens here, you get more saturated fats, often more omega-6 fats. That in turn leads to a membrane that is harder, it's more rigid, which means that the nutrients are not getting into the cell the way we want it to. The waste products are not getting out the way we want it to. The cell cannot produce as much energy as we would like. Microcirculation is not working the way we want, and thus combating inflammations. But if we have a well-balanced diet, we are on a 3-to-1 or better, then this membrane gets the good composition of fatty acids the way it was designed to be from the beginning, which means that the cell membrane now is soft, it's flexible, it's pliable, so that the nutrients can easily get into the cell, the waste products are getting out, the cell can produce energy, microcirculation is working the way we want it to, thus also combating inflammations. Because too much omega-6 in your diet is two things that are very important. One thing is omega-6 is triggering an acute inflammation. Your first line response if you get an ultra attack, which is extremely important. But unless the fire is put out by the omega-3 fatty acids, then it turns into a chronic inflammation, and we don't want that. So when you look at this slide here, what's important to underline is that this is really the fundament that this beautiful house that we live in is built on. This is where the difference between good and poor health is occurring. And that's why it's so important on cell level to have a good balance, 3-to-1 or better, between omega-6 and omega-3s. So we get the well-functioning cell membrane. So all our 100 billion cells feel well and can be dancing to the same tune. So where are you? Are you in the danger zone? Do you think you are on the 3-to-1 where we really want to be? Or do you think you are on the European average of 15-to-1, or the American average of 25-to-1, or maybe even higher? I don't know, but what we do know for sure is that a lot of people around us, our loved ones, they have a great imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3s. In other words, we have far too low levels of omega-3s, and we have too little antioxidants, polyphenols in our diet, and too low levels of vitamin D3. But the beauty in our concept is that instead of guessing what the situation is, we can take a balance test and see what the color of your oil lamps, literally what they are. And we have today done over 820,000 tests worldwide. So we actually have the biggest biobank for fatty acids analysis on the planet, actually. And what we do is we sting the finger, we take a few drops of blood, and what we're doing then is measuring 11 fatty acids that are comprising 98% of all the fatty acids in your blood. And you can see here on the panel there on the table, you can see these 11 fatty acids. You can see the name of them, the chemical name, and what type of fat we are talking about. And it's actually the 4 in the bottom that are the major fatty acids when it comes to the difference between good and poor health. It's the omega-6 arachidonic acid, and it's the marine omega-3 fatty acids called EPA, DPA, and DHA. And the analysis, they are all anonymous, and they are done by a big independent laboratory, actually one of the most modern in the world for dry blood spot testing and biomarkers. The laboratory is in Oslo, in Norway. It's called Vitas Analytical Services. You can see here a number of official partners that are utilizing their services. And by measuring then these 11 fatty acids that comprises 98% of all the fatty acids in your blood, we can literally see what the colors of your oil lamps are. And today, we have done, like I said, 820,000 tests, and we can see we have a world out of balance. The global average is 97% or higher than 3-to-1. Africa so far is 99% of the tests analyzed are in a ratio of 3-to-1 or higher. But what the good thing is, based on this analysis, we can really see what the color of your oil lamps are. And there are 6 very important indicators that we can read out. You can see there on the phone, this individual is logged on to zinzinotest.com to find his or her results. And you can see this individual has 4 red oil lamps and 2 yellow ones. And the indicators we can read out is actually what your balance is between omega-6 and omega-3. We can see what your protection value is, your protection against inflammation, what we call the fatty acid profile value. We see your omega-3 index, the level of EPA, DHA in your blood. We see your mental strength index. We see your cell membrane fluidity index. And we see how efficient your body is converting the various omega-6 fatty acids into arachidonic acid, what's called there your AA formation efficiency. And taking the test knows exactly where you're starting, and you know your potential to improving your health. And I would like David to invite you now to tell a little bit about your first test that you did back there in the end of January.
Yeah, thanks, Hugo. Yeah, as you can see from my test, all my oil lamps were red. And as I said, it is not surprising that by the time I met Hugo, I was badly off. Met Hugo through a friend, and I had suffered 3 heart attacks, and that had left a lot of pain in my chest, both sharp pain that would come on and off, but also the permanent needling pain in my chest. And that was actually troubling me. But what actually created a lot of panic in my life was when my brother, who had no history of even being sick, he collapsed and died out of a cardiac arrest. And I was wondering what will happen to me, because I already had the history of heart attacks. And here is a person that has been very, very healthy. So I was still inquiring, and until I met a friend who connected me to Mr. Olsen, or Hugo now, as I call him, my brother. We did a Zoom. He told me about the balance concept, the balance oil. I said, no, I cannot wait, because I knew I was already in the danger zone. So when my package came, I did the first test, and I didn't expect it to be this worse, because he had showed me the European average 25. I thought I would be around 25 or even better. Little did I know that it would be more than 3 times worse than the average that had been recorded at the time when we had the Zoom. But of course, I really understood, because from his presentation and from the results, I was the person who was allergic to fish, especially the fish was so repulsive to me. And I had no omega-3 in my body, so I was not very surprised after learning how omega-3 works in the body, and the results was not surprising. But what I was grateful to is that this intervention came in very, very handy. I don't know whether I would be alive by now, because the situation was getting worse. But what surprised me is that after 2 weeks of taking the balance oil, I literally just realized that I had no more pain in my chest. All the pain had gone, having a little bit of more energy than usual. And I could not get paced up when I'm either walking down up the stairs or on a hill. I feel now I have more energy, and that gave me the zeal to help many people, to join Hugo to help many people around the world to get in balance. So I'm on the road to recovery. I take more than what is recommended for my body weight, just to get out of that big hole, that big ditch faster. I want my oil lamp to get back to green, so that I can have that, I reach my goal of dying at 120 years climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. That's the dream we have with Mr. Hugo. So that's my story. I know many people out there may have the same condition like me, but we should not despair. God has opened us a window for us to recover. And please, as we progress in this presentation, just pay attention. Thank you, Hugo.
Thank you so much, David. And let me just add 2 things to you, brother and sister, ladies and gentlemen that are watching this video, is that science have shown through research that if your omega-3 index is below 4%, And you can see in David's example here, it's 2.9%. The risk of sudden heart death or sudden cardiac death is actually 10 times higher compared to being over 8%. And in our test and analysis, your oil lamp gets green when it's over 8%. Let me also add that cardiovascular diseases is actually the killer #1 on this planet, taking more than 20 million lives in 2021. And the projection from World Health Organization is not looking good. So to protect your heart and to get all the other benefits that I'm going to tell you about from the Balance Oil is extremely important. And I'm so happy, David, that you started with the Balance Oil. And it's also going to be interesting to see your in-between test that you took 2 months after and to see those results as well. So the findings in detail looks like this. In Europe, only 5% of those we have tested in Europe has, through their natural diet, a balance of 3-to-1. The group in the middle there, the yellow, the 20%, that's those that are taking some kind of supplement, whether it's cod liver oil, fish oil, or capsules. But you can see that they are not really getting to balance. The average there ends up on 7-to-1. But look at the red group there, 75% not taking any supplements, averaging on 15-to-1 in Europe. So what did Zinzino do to fix this problem? Well, the company gathered a scientific advisory board headed by Dr. Paul Clayton, and he is really the most knowledgeable individual when it comes to foods, botanical ingredients, what we call pharma nutrition. And he has actually been a fellow at the University of Oxford for 45 years. And what he does know about this is not worth knowing, so to speak. He's in the forefront of all trends, so he can help us to get the best for our customers, for our loved ones. Ole Eide was the founder of the company who initially developed the Balance Health Concept, and he has been an industry leader in many companies and is extremely knowledgeable. And we are so grateful, of course, to have him on board as well. And then Professor and Dr. Angela Maria Rizzo from the University of Milan. I would say she's the expert when it comes to biochemistry of lipids. She was a key player to help developing the Balance test as well. And of course, Dr. Anantrai Abraham with more than 40 years experience in the health and nutrition industry. And this is one of the world's brightest minds in the field of wellness and nutrition. And they are helping us not only to develop what we have, but also to develop new solutions to help us to prevent the risk of all these lifestyle diseases that are taking far too many lives far too early, and test-based, not guest-based, but test-based. I'm very proud also to tell you that we have our own manufacturing and R&D. Actually, it's in Norway. It's 15 minutes drive from where I live. So it means that from good ideas are coming up amongst this scientific advisory board until we have a finished product and ready to bring out to you to help you and your brothers and sisters, your loved ones. Well, it goes very fast, and we are very proud of that, of course. And we can bring you back into balance in 120 days with all the health benefits that includes. And the reason why we can do that is because we have a unique test-based formula. Because it is like this. It's a government requirement globally that if you want to use fish oil from wild fish as a supplement omega-3, it has to be purified. And when you purify omega-3s to remove toxins, dioxins, lead, mercury, heavy metals, and so on and so forth, any pollutant of any kind, microplastics, then what you also do in that purification process is you're actually removing the fish's the natural protection from going rancid. It's not like the herring or mackerel is getting rancid when they are swimming up in the North Sea or North Atlantic Oceans, no. But when you have done the purification, it's a very unstable fatty acid. So one of the most important thing a producer of an omega-3 supplement is doing is actually to protect that fish oil, not only in the bottle or in the capsule, but also in our bodies. And what Zinzino is using is something very unique. We are using extra virgin olive oil from pre-harvested olives coming from Spain. They're actually harvested a few weeks before they arrive, because that's when the level of polyphenols is at its absolute highest. And the polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil is called something nice as hydroxytyrosol. It's actually 17 times more powerful than vitamin C, that we know as the most powerful antioxidant within the vitamin family. And this has historically shown to be very, very powerful to protect fish oil. And then the third element that helps our dear and loved ones, our customers, to get in balance, that's dosage by weight. And of course, you and I can agree that it makes more sense that the bigger body, a grown-up man, needs more than a little girl 5 years of age weighing 18 kilograms. So we dosage by weight, 0.15 milliliter per kilo body weight. So these three things, high quality omega-3 from wild fish, very high levels of EPA, DPA, DHA, protected by extra virgin olive oil with the powerful polyphenols, dosage by weight, together with a little extra vitamin D3, a little bit extra vitamin E. It's all natural, no artificial ingredients that will give powerful synergistic effects for your health. And I'm going to show in which way. Available in two flavors. One is orange lemon mint. Second is grapefruit lemon lime. And I will show you a little bit more about the quality certificates we have. But I want to show you this one and get your attention to how much fish or seafood you actually have to eat every single day, 365 days a year, to get the equivalent of a 12 milliliter dose of balance oil, to get the same amount of EPA, DHA, these very important omega-3 fatty acids. And you can see here that most of the white fish or the light colored seafood, it's unmanageable amounts you have to eat. So it's only when you get to herring or to mackerel, anchovies, and sardines where you get to the amount that is actually manageable every day. But what I want you to know is that even 81 grams of mackerel in a can in tomato sauce, provided it's of good quality, is actually costing you more than a daily dose of balance oil. And usually I say the balance oil is probably the best and the cheapest life insurance you can have. So our products are really made with the highest quality and care. Our producer of fish oil is the world's largest, actually. It's up in Iceland, Reykjavik. It's a company called Lucy Factories, and they are GMP certified, ISO 9000 certified. They have the certificate Friend of the Sea, which means that all the catch, all the processing, all the purification of the fish oil is done in a very humane way, and everything of the fish is preserved, even though we only want the oil. Informed choice means that there are no ingredients in conflict with the doping regulations. And then you can see it's certified for halal, it's non-GMO, sugar-free, soy-free, gluten-free, keto-friendly. And with this product, we can really get people in balance. And the results, yes, we are very proud of that. 95% of those that have been using the balance products get to a ratio of near 3:1 after 120 days. And now you can see here on the app on the telephone that the 4 red and 2 yellow that we saw earlier now has now turned into 6 green oil lamps, and of course indicating that this individual has a much better working cell membrane, is much better protected against chronic inflammations and the other lifestyle diseases. So there are health benefits at every stage of life. Simply put, I would say before, during, and after pregnancy, and then throughout your entire life. As long as you're breathing, as long as your heart is beating, your cells needs to be renewed and to produce energy. So your cell membranes needs the building blocks of these valuable omega-3 fatty acids to be in balance between omega-6 and omega-3 for your brain, for your immune system, for your growth when you're a kid, to be able to sit in school and be able to follow what your teacher is saying, read a book without the letters jumping up and down, to be able to reproduce, to be able to be pregnant or to make your woman pregnant, for your heart, and of course for healthy metabolic aging, to be able to age with dignity, to have a brain that is with you the entire life. And like David said, so that at an age of 120, because that's what your biological clock is programmed to be able to go to, well, that's when we start climbing Kilimanjaro. So These are the 18 health claims that are approved by EFSA, the European Food Safety Authorities, based on the content and the ingredients in the balance oil. And the three in the bottom, I just mentioned it, before, during, and after pregnancy. It's so important for the development of the fetus as well as the newborn child, for every aspect of the cell structures, for the brain development, for the eye development, and for the visual development, and also for mama to fill up the levels after pregnancy. And of course, the brain, dry weight of your brain is 20%, 60% fats, whereof 20% is omega-3 fats. For your heart, it's so important to have the right lubrication, where actually the most important is this omega-3 fatty acid called EPA. Then for your immune function, for your vision, for your teeth, for bone structure, to fight oxidative stress, in other words, to fight that the body is rusting, normal blood pressure, heart rhythm, cell division, blood triglyceride levels. A lot of people are struggling with diabetes mellitus, or diabetes 2 as we call it. Triglyceride levels are too high. Get in balance and get control over that. Protect your cells against oxidative stress, the absorption and utilization of calcium, phosphorus, get normal blood calcium levels, muscle function, and lower and reduce blood cholesterol. All of these extremely important. And remember what I said earlier, it starts on cell level. It starts with a well-functioning cell membrane. So reaching a good balance between omega-6 and omega-3 is the first step to feel good, stay fit, be healthy. So now let's have a look at the other products that are available for you, and that's our skin serum. When you have lubricated your body from inside, then we can start from the outside. And the skin serum is perfect to hydrate and smooth the skin, improve skin elasticity and strength, reduce fine lines and wrinkles. And the way it's doing it is actually working with your immune system in the little deeper layer of your skin called the extracellular matrix. And it's a true anti-aging skin serum. And should you want to join in as a customer, you can see here examples of different kits. The mini kit starting from $94 without the test, mini kit with the test for $179, up to the bigger kit that would keep you going for 7, 8, 9 months for $403, and then $15 for any package. But again, I encourage you to contact the individual who shared this video recording with you, so you get the package that are available for your country and for your interest and wish, so to speak. So with that, I want to close this presentation and thank you for being part and to listen all through to the end. Our mission statement in Zinzino is inspire change in life. And that's what we want to do for our loved ones, for our brothers and sisters, for our customers, to help people to prevent the risk for all these lifestyle diseases that are taking far too many lives far too early, to live a healthy, good life with all the qualities in all aspects of also growing old as well. So with that, I thank you so much, and I will hand over to my brother, David.
Thank you, Hugo, for the excellent presentation. We are so blessed to have you to show us the way to better health. And I know for Africa, we have a challenge of early death. Our life expectancy is too short. And the explanation is that many of the fish resources, even though they are not even very rich in omega-3 because they are coming from polluted lakes, most of the fish resources are exported to Europe, and we are left to feed mainly on omega-6. So that gives a reason why we die so early. But good enough, now we have a solution, and people with this knowledge that you find in this video, it will not only help you, but help your loved ones to see the reason why we need this balance concept. We are on a mission, as we said. We already started, and our preoccupation is to help you and your colleagues and your friends and your relatives to get in balance. We shall expect you to make this video very viral, because it's a life-saving video. It has saved my life, as you heard from my testimony. I know many people who have used the balance oil in this short short period that I've used this product. I've recommended to many, and they are coming back with good testimonies. So don't take it lightly. As Hugo said, it is the cheapest life assurance that you can have. So please, if you have liked what you watched, please get back to the person who has shared this video, or you can, those who know me, you can get back to me, and give you more information, and can also invite you to the presentation that we may be having. So I want to thank you for watching this video, and we should also thank Mr. Hugo for putting together this information. I call him Professor because he actually does a lot, and I see doctors who have also been saying hats off for him. And I believe this is the information that we need right now as we move into this life journey. So may God bless you, Hugo, as you go on with the mission to help many people to get in balance. And may God bless the person who's sharing this video to another friend. Thank you very much, and have a good day.